Hello, everybody out there. So for today, I wanted to do another relationship type of video. The title for the video is going to be the 2 Laws of Attraction. For this video, I want it to be somewhat entertaining, but also I think it's decently informational. And without further ado, I'm literally just going to jump right into what I consider to be the 2 main laws or driving factors of attraction between whoever it is attracting between. So, excuse me. Number 1 is going to be the fact that attraction is not a choice. You're not going to be choosing who you're attracted to. I would say for the average human being, you have about maybe 10 seconds max before you know if you're attracted to this person enough or not. And by enough, I mean, is it someone that you could be romantically involved in a relationship with, be romantically involved with. It's kind of a hard line to draw in the sand, but I'm going to draw it for the sake of being somewhat very forward and kind of crass. It's a line in the sand where you know if you are interested in having sex or getting with this person that you're seeing in front of you or on your phone or God knows where else. But you're not really getting to make a choice. It's something that's ingrained in you. It's in your body. It's in your brain. It's in your whole DNA. You know if you find someone attractive or not. So with that being a base law of attraction, from there we have to ask ourselves, what does that mean? So number 1, obviously, again, it means you don't get to choose who you're attracted to. So when people tell you that you need to be attracted to certain groups of people or certain types of people or body types or whatever, that is not completely true. I'm not going to lie to you. I do have specific types that I'm more attracted to, and I have other groups of people that I'm not as attracted to. And honestly, obviously, it's a preference, but I'm going to straight up tell you, like, I've heard people say that you have to find everyone who maybe is a little bit overweight or whatever their size may be attractive, because if you don't, then you're being rude or insensitive, and that's complete and absolute bullshit. So if you've ever heard someone say that, if someone ever tells you that, that's not true. You initially know if you're attracted to someone or not, and that's just the way that it works. The reason why this is also important is, at the end of the day, especially for guys out there, excuse me, if a girl does not initially find you attractive, I hate to be a terrible person, but the chances of them changing their mind or getting to the point in time where they're willing to engage in that type of relationship with you is very, very low. So continuing to be like the, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Hey, girl, hey, hey, what's up? How's your day? Like all those texts and DMs, I'm telling you right now, if she was actually interested in you, whether she's attracted to you or not, but just interested in you, but more than likely she's probably not that attracted to you as well, or a combination of the two, then she'd message you back. But it's kind of an aside, but I'm just saying, you're not usually going to change someone's perspective on if they do find you attractive, because again, attraction is not a choice. It's something that you know and you feel right away. And if you're really honest with yourself, you are going to realize that's the truth. You're going to realize that when you see people out in public, you're going to know right away. Like, again, I would say within 10 seconds. Obviously, if you think someone's kind of attractive, like let's just say, I don't like using numbers, like I think it is kind of rude, but let's just say you find someone like at maybe like a 6 or a 7, and that's not as attractive as you normally are, like willing to be with someone in a relationship. Over time, you might get to know them a little bit more. You might get to know their personality, and maybe their attraction bumps up enough for you to change your mind. But for most situations, you're pretty determined in what you find attractive and what you don't. Which leads into point number 2. And I think this is one that a lot of people don't know. I feel like a lot of people don't realize that attraction is really not a choice. And I feel like this one's even more true. I always love saying it in conversations because I know that it is like a psychologically studied fact, is that the second law of attraction, not necessarily this being the second law, but just being my second law, so it is a law of attraction somewhere, is that proximity is going to be a driving factor in your attraction for other people. So what that means, essentially speaking, is the people that you are around on a consistent basis, whether it's at work, whether it's at school, whether it's at, I don't know, bowling practice, or playing in a pool club or a pool hall, or playing kickball recreationally, whatever it is you do with people you see consistently of the other sex that you're attracted to, whether it's men, women, it really doesn't matter. The more time you spend around them, the more attracted to them you're going to be, the more attracted they are more likely to be to you. And just in general, people that you might initially not be as attracted to, you are going to more than likely, for multiple reasons. One, you're going to see them a lot, and we like seeing people because obviously you're not going to just see a girl or a guy one time or 2 times in your life and be like, yep, I'm super attracted to them past just the initial attraction that I talked about at the beginning. and you may never see them or talk to them again. So obviously, the more you get to talk to someone, kind of what I said in the end of the first one was, the more you're going to build up that attraction, the more you're going to get to know them, get to know their personality. And I'm telling you, proximity or who you're around consistently is going to be another major factor in attraction. And realistically, you can see this all the time. People that are coworkers, people that are in the same sports club, same school classrooms, whatever it may be. It's the reason why high schoolers typically date other people in the same high school, or people that are in college might typically date the same people that they're in college with, because they're seeing those same people, they're able to engage with them, they're able to get to know them better, and they're able to have their attraction level for that person raise over time. Now, the reason why I think this is so important, and I know this might not be the most popular thing to say, and this is okay, but the reason why I think it's important to not only realize this, but realize the effects it can have, is if you are in a committed relationship, whether the other person is or not. I'm just going to use an example of a guy, because I feel like that's something that's probably a little bit more common. We'll say a guy is in a relationship, and he works with a girl, and he finds her very attractive. He's like, this is a really beautiful woman. She's one of the most beautiful women that I've ever seen. He starts working with her. He's going to start getting to know her better. Then that proximity of attraction is going to increase his attraction to a pretty damn high level. And the reason why I think it's important to realize this is that for me in my life, and what I would recommend for other people out here, like this is like my little piece of advice as far as like, aside from people that tell you that you have to like people or be attracted to certain type of people to fuck off, aside from that, is if you're in this situation, you need to realize that it opens up a door for very negative consequences to occur. And I say this because if you're already initially attracted to somebody, and then you get to know them more, you get to like them better, your attraction goes up to the proximity of attraction, what's going to end up happening is it opens up a door for you to emotionally cheat, physically cheat, mentally cheat, or just get to the point in time where maybe you don't even cheat, but you start to have feelings for this person that are beyond just, hey, I kind of like you as a person, or hey, I think you're attractive, whatever. So it will build up over time. And I'm telling you, this is how it works, whether you want to believe it or not, for yourself or for your partners. And maybe you're the person out there, because I've talked to people before where like, well, I would never put myself in that situation. I would never feel that way. And I'm like, okay, like you might be one of those people who doesn't fall victim to this. But I feel like for the vast majority of people out there, this is very, very true. Because you can see it all the time, again, where you see people in the workplace, especially, who are having affairs, who are married, who are in relationships, and it's a very, very common thing. So my advice, if you do find yourself, and like this is like the takeaway from the video, I guess, if you find yourself in the workplace, in a sports club, at school, whatever it is, and you're in a serious committed relationship with your partner, you need to, and it's a very hard, awkward conversation to have, and I'll tell you kind of how to frame it, but you need to tell your partner that you have an attraction for someone else and let them know that that's existing. Now, obviously, initially, it might be kind of a weird thing to say. You're like, why would I tell my partner I find someone else attractive? But what I'm telling you is, you need to have the conversation, because if you don't, it's going to build up over time. And I'm not saying it's always going to build up to you cheating. I'm not saying it's always going to build up to you stepping out in like the full spectrum of like the word or like that phrase. But again, emotionally cheating and flirting and going back and forth to someone else, or you in your mind like literally cheating and like stepping out on your significant other or whatever it may be, is still not the right alley you want to go down. So to protect yourself, protect your relationship, I would really recommend you have the conversation. And the way I would recommend having it is pretty straightforward and very, very thoughtful in my opinion. I would sit your partner down and say like, hey, I care about you, I love you, wherever you're at within your relationship, and say, I want to tell you something about work. I want you to like hear me. Please listen. Like, I'm telling you this because I want our relationship to be good, because I don't want there to be any issues in the future, and I want to make sure that I'm like solidifying a relationship. So what I would say is, from that point in time, I have someone at work who I do find attractive, regardless of like, again, like whatever their gender, sex is. I have someone that I find attractive. And I want to tell you about it because I don't want it to become an issue. I don't want it to become a secret. I don't want it to be like this taboo person that you don't know about that I work with. And I don't want some type of weird under the rug attraction to build up between the two of us over time. And that's the point in time where, again, you need to be really honest with your partner. Tell them that's where you're at. Be very honest. Be very vulnerable. And again, tell them that you're only telling them this because you're wanting to really sanctify and solidify your relationship. And again, I have met in my time in different careers, different jobs, people who have fallen victim to this personally, who they don't tell their partner. that someone that they work with or someone that, you know, comes into the location all the time, they find them really attractive. And over time, that attraction builds up between these two people, because the initial attraction is really what matters. And then proximity comes in. So now their attraction's going up. They start interacting more. And then you start seeing people who are physically cheating, emotionally cheating, whatever it may be. And unfortunately, their partners usually don't ever know until either it's too late or that it ends up not happening, like nothing goes any further, and then they never know. Either way, it's not a situation you want to find yourself in. It's not a situation that you want to find your partner in. So again, please take the time, if you're in that situation, to have the conversation. And again, I know a lot of people might watch this and say like, oh, I would never do that, or I would never put myself in that situation. But I'm telling you, it happens all the time. I feel like it might happen even more to men than women. So women, check your men check your women, you know, kind of back and forth. But I really do think it happens more to guys than it does to women. The other thing that I would really, truly, honestly say within like this idea of that situation is that if you do talk to your partner, or maybe you decide not to take my advice and you don't talk to your partner, the point in time where that attraction builds up and that person starts giving you attention or starts flirting with you or starts touching you or joking around, if you haven't had the conversation, you really have to put your fucking foot down like 1000%. Because if you don't, it's going to take off to a point in time where, again, you're emotionally stepping out, you're physically stepping out, whatever it may be. And you're going to hurt your partner, and you're going to hurt yourself, and you're going to fuck up your relationship. Now, if you're the person who has the mature conversation that I talked about with the basic framework that I put in there, fill in your own words, my recommendation is obviously do the exact same thing. Because then at that point in time, not only have you told your partner, this is what it is, I'm letting you know, I don't want it to become a problem. So you've owned it for yourself, you've owned it for your partner, you've owned it for your relationship. You're now putting like a halt from this person flirting with you and kind of joking around with you, touching you, whatever it may be, to kind of like interact with you in kind of maybe an inappropriate way. And you just got to tell the person like, hey, man, lady, person, I'm in a relationship. And the things you're saying, things you're doing, it's just not okay, or it's not what I want, or I'm not about it. And you got to shut it down. Because again, if you don't, that proximity of attraction is a bitch. And over time, it will continue to increase. And I feel like for a lot of people, it's very, very hard to resist that temptation at times. So again, that's kind of like the general ideas that I have for the 2 laws of attraction. I really do believe at the end of the day, again, kind of recapping my real quick thoughts, is attraction's not a choice. You're going to find someone attractive within the first 10 seconds, 9 times out of 10, whether you like it or not. I'm telling you, you go walk out in a fucking mall. Maybe I'm not a mall these days. I don't know with COVID, but go walk somewhere. Go on fucking Facebook. You will see people that you either know off the bat that they're attractive, they're not attractive, or maybe they're kind of like you're attractive-ish. And then from there, same thing. Really deep dive, really think about people that you've met in your own life. People that you've met in your own life, but your own life as well. And really think about the proximity of attraction and realize how being around people, whether you become more attracted to them or someone else becomes more attracted to you, is very, very common when you're around someone on a consistent basis, because that is one of the biggest driving factors for attraction, like within our world. So that is what I have for the overall video. At the end of the day, the idea of doing all these videos is to help 100 million people. I know I want to do it obviously as fast as possible, but at the end of the day, I don't like kind of like selling out and saying dumb shit. So what I will tell you obviously up front is, if you're watching this video on YouTube, I don't tell people to like or subscribe. If you want to do that, it's awesome. I do greatly appreciate it, but I don't like saying, because everyone says it. It just drives me fucking insane when I watch it on somebody's video, especially at the beginning before I get any content out of what they say. But in addition to, the best way to help 100 million people, whether it's big ways, small ways, whatever that may look like, is sharing the content. So if you guys could share it, I would greatly appreciate it. If you did get any value out of it, I would greatly appreciate it if you shared it word of mouth via like YouTube, sending it to somebody. I don't care, telling them about the channel, just because a lot of the information on here is going to be helpful for somebody out there, and that's kind of the name of the game. So that is what I have at this point in time. I'm going to answer a few live questions on Facebook Live as well as Twitch. I answer live questions after every single video. I do these live streams Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. I don't have to just answer questions about this topic. Sometimes I'll answer stuff about whatever someone wants to ask about, whether it's relationships, fitness, life. It doesn't really matter. But I do like to answer live questions because, again, it's kind of that whole helping 100 million people kind of change their lives in different ways. So that's pretty much the whole gist of what I'm doing and kind of what I'm about. If it is a longer question, if there is something that's going to take a little more time, I might ask you to DM me specifically, or I might want to do a video on your question. So I'll always ask before I do a video, obviously, because I don't want to like throw somebody's relationship or life under the bus. But that's pretty much what I got, guys. So for everyone watching on YouTube, for the YouTube friends out there, thank you guys so much for watching. I do greatly appreciate it. And again, guys, remember, stay healthy, stay safe, and above all, be greater than. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. Bye.